So, you're thinking of becoming a management consultant. Don't. I've made dozens of videos in the past where I talk about the exciting opportunities that come with being a consultant, like the travel or the salaries. But today, I'm going to share with you some of the bad and why essentially you shouldn't join consulting if you can't handle this. Keep in mind that I'm basing this video based on the horror stories that I've heard colleagues share, but it wouldn't be fair to say that I didn't experience some slightly less than favorable days. What I plan on sharing isn't meant to deter anyone, but meant to be fully transparent and brutally honest. No one wants to jump into a profession thinking that there's only going to be highs and no bad experiences, when in reality, you will likely have off days that make you rethink your career choices. Keep in mind that each firm you work at, whether it's in the MBB or Big 4 or boutique or tier 2, will have different stories and consultants will have different experiences. Also, a consultant at Deloitte working in San Francisco, for example, may have a different experience than a consultant at Deloitte working in Los Angeles, even though they're at the same company, the same state, and the same year of experience. But before we get into it, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe to show your support for this channel. I make videos every week, and your continued support by doing those 3 simple things shows me the value behind making even more content for you guys. But with all that said, let's get into today's video. As I mentioned earlier already, each firm will probably have its own horror stories, whether those entail dreaded clients and projects that drain your purpose and happiness, to working on a tough team, to having a bad manager. You will encounter a rough day or a hump in your workflow, and that's completely alright. It's about knowing what you need to do to get over those days or moments. So to make this video a bit more generalized, I'm going to recognize an issue that many, including myself, have experienced at one point in my professional career as a management consultant. And well, that's burnout or exhaustion. Being a consultant at any firm is not really easy. You have a lot of responsibilities both on the project team, but also internally within the firm. Like I've said in the past, consulting isn't always a 9-to-5 job if that is what you are thinking. And if that is what you are looking for, good luck finding one unless it's at a firm or on a project that has 0% travel or a million other consultants, so you don't have to work too much or take on all the responsibilities. When you're working on a smaller team with only a couple of other consultants, you're likely going to be asked to take on a lot more responsibilities. No one can help take some of the workload off, especially because they're all probably busy working on their own thing. That can cause a lot of internal struggle and conflict when you don't know something, no one is really there to help you, and there's a deadline approaching where others are relying on your work. Therefore, it is common to go beyond that 5 or 6 p.m. mark and even burn that midnight oil, at times trying to figure out something or complete it before the meeting in the morning. You're constantly thinking about work even when you're not at work because of all that work that needs to be done. Even when I'm not working on the weekends, I sometimes think and schedule my week in advance so that I at least have a bit more control over what's to come. The last thing I'd want is to fall behind and let that affect other people's work. That's why one of the biggest things you'll need to do is communicate. I cannot stress how important this is, especially for those earlier on in their careers who are afraid. Be open, be honest. Tell your manager or supervisor that you just have too much to handle on your plate right now, or that you may miss a deadline or 2. It's completely fine. And well, do you know why? Because we're human. We all sometimes fall behind because other things come up that we can't handle, whether that's work or personal related. Having these transparent conversations with your manager and team, however, will keep them in the loop as opposed to just leaving them in the dark until it's too late. And for those who are traveling on top of their natural work, well, good luck. You're likely spending hours traveling each week. From your house, to the airport, through security, to boarding, to and from the client site, the list goes on. So those 40-hour weeks could creep up to 50 or 60 at busy times. If you're at the MBB, you're likely to hit 70 hours a week as well because of upcoming deadlines. Now, let's take a second to just review that for a second. Working 70 hours a week. Where does the rest of your day go? Sleeping and getting ready for the next action-filled day. It's not easy and it can cause severe burnout after a couple months to a year at max. That's why a lot of firms are trying to balance work and normal life activities for their consultants. From either offering hybrid work options to fitness stipends, consulting firms don't want to have those horror and trauma stories, so they provide a better way of life as opposed to slaving away for 2 to 3 years, then having their consultants run away. Some firms even make Fridays half day or more casual in order to give everyone a little break. There are a lot of social events and volunteer opportunities to get out of the office and do something else just for a bit. Beyond this, many consultants land on the beach, meaning that they're in between projects, so they add a couple of days off and travel for vacation. And since we're on the topic of vacation days, some firms even offer flexible or unlimited PTO or paid time off to allow their consultants to decompress for as long as they'd like before going back at it full steam. So although consulting may have its tough days or long hours, it's better to be more aware of how these long days will affect you in the short and long term beyond what you do professionally. If you can't handle those long days or type of work, then maybe management consulting isn't in the cards for you. Now with that being said, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you found this video helpful. I upload videos every Wednesday, so you better subscribe to not miss out. I've covered a range of topics on my channel, to consulting salaries, the interview, and even resume tips and tricks, so be sure to check those out as well. If you'd like more specialized guidance when it comes to getting into management consulting, I've helped dozens get into top firms like McKinsey, PwC, KPMG, and so many more. So feel free to schedule an appointment on my website, ryanrafi.com. I've also shared a couple promo codes in the bio below as well for my products and services. As always, thanks. Until next time.